Welcome to Good Night, everyone. And our main story tonight concerns the Democratic debates that took place last week. We usually don't explicitly cover politics here, unless we're talking about Aquaman on the Senate floor, but we're making an exception. Taking place last Wednesday and Thursday, all 20 candidates got a chance to speak. Well, most of them got a chance to speak, unless you were poor Andrew Yang, who clocked in at 3 minutes despite growing groundswell of support. Our first two stories usually go longer than Andrew Yang's total time, which is a shame because despite night one being relatively tame, night two was an all-out brawl with candidates talking over each other, interrupting moderators, and unauthorized rebuttals all over the place. Marianne Williamson even started breakdancing when she didn't get speaking time. Either way, the debate should calm down when the field is narrowed. But the speaking time breakdowns begs the question of how fair these debates really are. People like Yang and Swalwell could have a chance at appealing to voters, but without name recognition or speaking time, they're about as likely as a dead gorilla, Harambe, to secure the nomination. But even Harambe got 11,000 votes in 2016, so I guess they're less likely than a dead gorilla to be president. But while the debates themselves were kind of messy, they did spark some quality memes. Candidates repeatedly tried to one-up each other on how much mediocre Spanish they spoke, and Joe Biden flinching at Bernie Sanders' hand motion is easily the best gift of the night. In ridiculous news, have you ever driven over a pothole so many times you just had enough? Well, a man in Kansas City is fed up with the city's inability to fill potholes, so he had a birthday party for a 3-month-old pothole outside of his house. Frank Serino, a legend in his own right, bought a cake for the aging divot and lit a candle, according to KCTV 5 News. He reportedly didn't sing happy birthday to the pothole because it was too hot outside. It's a clever way of getting the city's attention on things like this, and the city did get wind of this coverage, but as expected, the pothole still has not been filled. The city says they're working through a backlog and will get to Serino's pothole eventually. The two takeaways on this story? Citizens are fed up with potholes in June, and this picture of Serino staring at the pothole is a work of modern art. In music news, rapper Cardi B has reportedly attempted to trademark her signature catchphrase. In her Instagram videos and in her songs, you can hear Cardi saying the catchphrase, Okurr, as a substitute for okay. She's become so well known for the phrase that she filed a patent in order to put the phrase on clothing and posters. And according to CNN, however, the U.S. Patents Office denied her trademark on the grounds that it was too widely used and conveys too common a sentiment. Cardi B is most likely not sweating the denial, considering she has 4 songs in the Billboard Top 100. But this isn't the first time a singer has attempted to capitalize on their success with, well, words. In 2014, well after we were all sick of it, Taylor Swift tried to trademark her Shake It Off after a hit song went 9 times platinum, but like Cardi B, was subsequently denied by the Patent Office. With this trend of artists trying to copyright their signature words, catch Lil Nas X in every court suing every town that happens to have an old town road for the next couple of years. And in another political story, President Donald Trump tweeted a strange video of him crashing the Democratic debates. And in it, he used the famous rock anthem Crazy Train by Ozzy Osbourne. The video essentially ends with a campaign ad for Trump's re-election bid. So Sharon Osbourne was understandably pissed because nobody asked for permission. In an Instagram post, she detailed that nobody should be using Ozzy's music without asking. Being in the next long line of musicians that have spoken out against Trump using their music, in these weird videos he retweets, Osbourne finished by recommending him some other songs by musicians he's friends with. We think that's a great idea, so we took the lead with some recommendations. For example, Cage the Elephant's Ain't No Rest for the Wicked, Haley's Devil in Me, AC/DC's Hell's Bells, and although he's not very well known, the rapper Amex has a song called Fell in Love with a Stripper. That would be perfect. Finally, in maritime news, the United States Coast Guard made one of its biggest busts ever last week. On June 24th, the Coast Guard stopped over $30,000 worth of garlic from entering the country. Garlic smuggling is actually surprisingly popular because of the taxes on Chinese goods. And considering that China makes about 70% of the world's garlic, it's easy to see why garlic smuggling is a regular occurrence. According to AtlasObscura.com, the ship was stopped between Haiti and the Dominican Republic and contained almost 8,000 pounds of garlic. Good work to be sure for the Coast Guard, but I think vampires are the only ones truly resting easy tonight. That's going to do it for this week's news, but before we go to break, it's International Joke Day today, and our crew had a bit of trouble figuring out how to celebrate. Check it out in this clip, and then when we have Lucy Burdge in one of our new segments, This Week in Music History, and when we come back, we'll be asking our panel what's happening on Twitter this week. Stick around for Trending right here on Good Night.
All right, guys, it's International Joke Day today. What are we going to do for a bit?
Oh, we just had the straight Pride Parade people last week. That would have been perfect.
Damn it, you're right. We wouldn't have even had to film a bit or anything. But I was thinking we can work some classic jokes into John's monologue.
Classic jokes?
Yeah, like knock-knock jokes or dad jokes or Jerry Seinfeld airplane jokes. You know, like palatable.
You mean like boring?
All right, Todd, what do you have in mind?
Easiest joke in the book. Whoopee cushions. Hey Connor, can you come in here for a second?
Yeah. Yeah, what's up?
Not much. Can you just have a seat for me? Bony ass broke it!
I'd rather be palatable than crude, Todd.
What about stand-up? We could have John try some stand-up on the show.
Hey everybody, what about that guy Trump? Hey, I'm going to be here all week, so make sure you tip the waitress and the veal's really good, okay everybody? No, seriously. Take my mother-in-law. Seriously, take her.
Ugh.
No, that was just a bad idea.
No, let's not do that.
Never again.
No.
Come on, guys. There's got to be something. International Joke Day is like the easiest day we've had to do.
Actually, I didn't even realize it was International Joke Day. I'm celebrating International Reggae Day.
But we can't do anything with that, Todd.
Whatever, man. One love.
All right, Allison, what are we doing?
Well, I'm celebrating Canada Day, so before the show tonight, I was just gonna take a quick run up to Tim Hortons.
The nearest Tim Hortons is in, like, Vermont.
Yeah, I know, so I only have a couple hours, so I better get going. I'll see you later, eh?
You know what? F*** it. This show is the joke. That's the bit.
This is Lucy Burdge with Good Nights This Week in Music History. We begin in 1954 when Elvis recorded That's All Right after fooling around in the studio with a more up-tempo version of the song, so he really made it his own. In 1956, Elvis appeared on the Steve Allen Show and performed Hound Dog, and TV critic John Crosby called Elvis an unspeakable, untalented, and vulgar young entertainer. The next day, Elvis recorded Hound Dog at RCA Studios in New York, and they released the 31st take of that recording. It was a big week for Elvis in history. In 1971, Jim Morrison died. He was found dead in a bathtub in Paris, and the cause of death was said to be a heart attack. In 1975, the Jackson 5 announced that they were leaving Motown Records for Uptown Records. Also in 1975, Cher married Greg Allman just 4 days after divorcing Sonny. That marriage lasted 10 days. In 1999, Posh Spice, then Victoria Adams, became Victoria Beckham when she married David Beckham in Ireland. They had signed a deal worth £1 million for OK Magazine to have the exclusive picture rights to that wedding. In 2003, Barry White died from kidney failure at age 58. Also in 2003, Johnny Cash had his last ever performance when he appeared at the Carter Ranch. In 2005, Luther Vandross died at the age of 54 in New Jersey, 2 years after suffering a major stroke. This has been Lucy Burdge with This Week in Music History. Be sure to follow me on Twitter and Instagram, both at Lucille Burdge.